Hi guys, and welcome back. So this is the third part of our 6-year update to Pleasantview and all the amazing characters that live here. And there's been quite a few new families that I moved in. That's just the townies that I've paired up with each other into some very interesting combinations, and I can't wait to share them with you. We also have to finish off a few of the pre-made families. So let's get started. Let's start off by looking at the main Broke family. So they were able to move out of the trailer and they live over here now. And the family is a bit smaller because Dustin left. It says, Brandy was left to raise 3 kids alone following her first husband's suspicious bull letter accident. The new man in her life might not be as kind as he seems. Will Dustin and Beau find out what he's up to? So this is the same from 3 years ago, if I can put it that way. The previous update, not much has changed there. Beau is basically ready to go off to college. His sister is a child now, and Brandy has started a family with Raymond Santowski, who is a dirty cop, and she doesn't really want to listen to reason, so, the boys can't do much, and I guess they kind of feel bad that their sister is growing up in this environment, but, there's nothing much they can do. Their mom is an adult, she makes her own decisions, and if she doesn't want to listen, what can they really do? So, but obviously Raymond has been earning enough that they could move from the trailer, which is great because they needed space. But it was tough initially. They literally were without any paint on the walls when I started off over here. So it was not an ideal situation. So this is their home in this affordable home area. And it basically has, it's very empty because they just didn't have the funds. So here's their living space, then they have a kitchen. I stayed with a pink for Brandy. And then this is a room with 2 beds for boys, I would say. Obviously Dustin stayed here with Beau. And then Bethany, this is the unborn baby Broke. From the clean templates, you can have a girl as well. That's possible, and she's linked to Skip genetically then. This is her bedroom. Then we have a hallway here with the main bedroom and a baby room because it's a little girl, Rochelle Santowski, was born, and then a bathroom and a shower. So yeah, this, I hate playing in houses that's this empty, but if you're not wanting to use cheats, then, this is kind of the only way that you can do it. Okay, so Raymond is still the dirty cop that he is, and he's a bookie. Is a secondary family sim, but as I said before, I'm not doing this in a very positive way that he's a family sim, more like mobster style, the family business type thing, where he's, involved in criminal dealings, and his family is important to him, but in a kind of crooked way. And then Brandy, she is just completely blinded by her love for Raymond. Everything is just wants for him. He's very important to her. So she's got 14 days left before she's an elder, so I don't know if they can maybe have 1 more kid or something like that, or if she's just done now because, this is literally her 4th child. But Raymond being a family sim, maybe he would want more, so perhaps they will have 1 more or so. And then she doesn't work, she's still just at home. Then Beau, I made Beau a knowledge sim. This is his lifetime want. And then relationship-wise, he is actually dating Marsha Brunig, who's a child when you start off in the game. Child townie. He's got lots of friends. And doesn't have a job, but he's an A+ student. It goes quite well with him currently. He's my knowledge some, but I gave him a secondary of family. I think family is important to him, and he's hoping that his mother will listen to him and Dustin, who's warning her, but she doesn't. And yeah, that's pretty much Bo. And then little Bethany, she's this is her personality. She's quite outgoing, but she's a bit on the lazy side, but she's playful and nice. So yeah, she doesn't know anyone really yet. She aged up very recently, and I don't think she's really gone to school. And because they don't have a computer, I couldn't let her chat online. So she's literally met no other kids, but maybe she will bring a friend home from school or something like that today when she comes back from school. And then little Rochelle is still a baby, so we don't know how the genetics really will work out. We'll have to wait and see how she turns out. But she has grayish blue eyes and black hair from what we can see. So pretty much Brandy's coloring, but we will see, genetically wise. Hopefully she doesn't look like Raymond, because he is really not very attractive. So, all right, that's them. We also need to look at the Burb family. We haven't looked at them yet. So they had twins. And it says the Burbs are flourishing, their family has grown, their home has expanded, their careers are fulfilling, they love each other, and they are truly happy. So this is at least a wholesome family, and it's actually fun playing a wholesome family where no one is cheating, because the rest of Pleasantview hasn't been very wholesome. So they were actually still in this house that comes with Pleasantview. It's been a challenge, but I extended a bit. They don't have a garden at all. Hopefully John will one day have the garden he wants, but they just don't have the money. So this is still main bedroom, Lucy's bedroom, bathroom, and then their daughter Jenny, who's now a child, has this bedroom, and then their twins has this bedroom that I've added as well. So I've basically added these two rooms to the house. And then their dog is chewing and digging up everything that she possibly can. Okay, so they're actually all at work. It's just the twins at home. John wants 10 kids. Well, John, if you're going to give birth physically to all of them, sure. I hope you're not expecting poor Jennifer to do that. So John wants to marry off 6 kids. He really wants a big family. And he only has eyes for Jennifer. And then great relationships with kids and some family friends. Not much has changed there. He's an elementary school teacher, so things are going all right in that direction for him. And I did give him super fertility, so that's obviously where the twins come from. So I thought the 6 kids thing would be easier to achieve if he has super fertility. Not much else to say about him. Then Jennifer, who's a fortunesome, she wants to have 6 pets reach the top career level. I haven't gone that direction yet. I have literally got 1 pet who's not working, but I guess we'll see. So yeah, she has some good friendships around, good relationships with her kids in general. Not so much with Lucy for some reason. I think she's just really busy. Which is not good. She should have a good relationship with Lucy, but she has a good relationship with Jenny. I think, Lucy's kind of busy with her own thing, and her mom's busy with her own thing. So, they just kind of live past each other, which isn't good, but especially because Jennifer is a family sim. I think, she's a fortune sim, but secondary family. I think she should actually focus on her relationship with Lucy a bit. Lucy is a family sim who would like to marry off 6 kids, so she's like her dad in all ways, and she's just a family sim. She doesn't have a secondary. She's still dating Alvin, so we'll see how that turns out for her, but she's got good chemistry with Orlando Santowski as well as Alexander Goth, so it's not to say she will end up with Alvin. We'll see. Okay, and she just knows a bunch of other people, but she's actually good friends with Coral. She's made good friends with her as well. Okay, and she doesn't have a job. She has an A+ for her report card. She enjoys studying cooking and looking at new recipes. And then little Jenny. Jenny is very pretty. They really have pretty kids usually. And Jenny doesn't really know other kids yet. She's still a C student. I don't think she's gone to school much. She hasn't even brought home homework to do. So yeah, no. She's a fresh kiddo. Nothing has happened yet. And then the twins, if we look at them, we have Joanne Burb over here. I think their eyes are closed, so I can't really see the genetics unless I make them selectable. And then we have little Jonathan Burb. So let's check quickly. Yeah, so black hair and blue eyes is the genetics for Joanne. And Jonathan has brown eyes and black hair, so his mom's coloring completely. Okay, so interesting. We'll see how things turn out for them. If I look at personalities, little Jonathan is very serious, but he's neat and outgoing. And his sister Joanne is very active, very outgoing, but she's serious. Okay, so interesting. Yeah, and their cute little dog, well, she's not so little, Hazel, is just chewing up everything and making puddles everywhere. So that's this family, wholesome and happy. Okay, so now that we've done all the main families, I think we should look at the other families that I moved in. So let's start over here. This is the Lillard family. So this is Brandon and Sandy that I paired up. Brandon and Sandy seem to be perfect for each other, but will they stay together? They both seem to be afraid of commitment. So we know this is the classical romance situation, which Pleasantview has loads of. So yeah, they're interesting. They have interesting looking genetics, which I don't know that it will ever turn out nicely, but we'll see. Since Dina's going to have a baby with Brandon, hopefully the baby looks like Dina, because this face only a mother can love. But I guess we'll see, you know. So what I can say is he doesn't want to get engaged to Dina. But he is in the slacker career, and as you can see, he's got max chemistry with Sandy, but he's got relationships with the two Caliente sisters. That's pretty much his relationships. And then Sandy has got relationship with him and Dawn going. Of course, Dawn has to be somewhere in the picture. She's very angry at Kennedy and Andrea because she had something going on with Kennedy that spontaneously started for some reason, and then I can't remember who cheated on who. I think she actually was the one that cheated by kissing someone else or something. Oh, this is Dawn. Oh, yeah, Kennedy then was interested in someone else, and she was very angry, and then she had a fight with Andrea. I think that's when the two of them just paired off, but for some reason she and Kennedy were interested in each other, but this spontaneously happened. I literally had nothing to do with this. So anyway, we'll see how that all turns out, and she is in the gaming career. So I made her a secondary pleasure son, so she's Roman's pleasure, and he is Roman's grilled cheese. I mean, we'll see how they turn out as characters. I don't know what kind of backstory to really give them. They're kind of this freeloaders type people, according to me. And their house is pretty plain and simple. Not much to it. Bathroom over here, living space and kitchen. I tried to make it a bit modern looking. And then main bedroom and room for a baby because Sandy is actually expecting his child. This is just another one of my genetic experiments that I'm doing. We're gonna see what this poor kid looks like, how their genetics mix. Interestingly enough, in other playthroughs that I've played, they also ended up together. They kind of gravitate towards each other, so we'll see. I think in the other neighborhood where they gravitated towards each other, the other version, they didn't have any of their own kids. So I never knew how their genetics would mix. Alright, then next to them in the old Dreamer home, we have Kaylin Langerak living with her husband. So this is actually part of the main families, if you put it that way, because Kaylin is part of the main story, but she starts off as a maid that you can't play, so you know. Okay, so something has actually changed here. Kaylin is extremely grateful for the day Benjamin Long stepped into her life and saved her from her own stupidity. Being treated like some disposable piece of meat by Daniel and Dawn, and then seeing how a proper man treats a woman has really opened her eyes. She's glad that Kayla, that's her daughter, has Benjamin as a great example. Hopefully she will not repeat her mother's mistakes one day. So this is cute little Kayla. She's a very attractive sim. I mean, as a child, we'll see later on, but she's really pretty. And she is, of course, the daughter of Kaylin and Daniel Pleasant. They have been able to upgrade homes and move out of the trailer, which is great because her and Benjamin had a baby and they had the 2 dogs. So it was just really chaotic living in the trailer. So let's quickly look at Kaylin first. So Kaylin has become good friends with a number of people. She doesn't hold ill will towards Daniel or Dawn, but she really just doesn't see them anymore. She's also become friends with Coral and with Mortimer, and she knows a bunch of other people. She is not working, she's a homemaker, and she is just a family sim, nothing else. That's what she's interested in. And she has her good skills, but she can always get into a career once she's done having kids, and you know, the kids are kind of independent. So Benjamin, knowledge sim, who is a secondary family sim, and he is now a prep cook, so he has upgraded in his career. And he loves his wife a lot, has some other friends, but not much else in line there. And then little Kayla, here she is, very pretty sim. We'll see how she turns out. She is friends with Diana Goth, so this is of course Dina and Don's daughter, who thinks she's Mortimer's daughter. And she's also friends with Alexander, so she's visited the Goths quite a bit. And she hasn't been in school that much, actually. And then her personality, she's very outgoing, quite neat, but she's a bit on the lazy side. She's very playful and she's a nice sim. Then Kaylin had a baby with Benjamin, and her name is Enya, so it's also a little girl. And we can look at her. I mean, babies don't really show genetics that much, but we can at least look at her coloring and stuff. Beautiful blue eyes, and she's got Kaylin's black hair. Now what I've done to the house, they kind of ran out of funds, so I couldn't really continue as much as I wanted to renovate. But this is the main bedroom. I've turned this into 2 separate bedrooms, and then a hallway, and the bathroom is still there. And downstairs they have a living area, a room where the dogs sleep, bathroom, dining area, kitchen. And then here out on the porch, how cute is this? Early morning chess game between Kayla and her stepdad Benjamin. So yeah, this is a wholesome, happy family, which is so nice to see because there isn't that much of that. So one of my favorite households to play. And I'm glad they could leave the trailer and they are now happy in the old dreamer house. Alright, we're going to make our way through the condo district. So I've added 2 more lots here that I think we're doing in the same style as the condo district. And here we have Ivy Copper. So it's another one of my experiments, of course. Ivy made a bad decision and now she needs to prepare herself to be a single mother. Will she be able to take care of a baby and keep her career going at the same time? So who did she have a relationship with that didn't work out? Our bathroom really needs a clean. In line of changes, I haven't made much changes to this specific condo. She used to live with Christy Stratton, but Christy Stratton has since married and moved out. So she does have an extra bedroom, which she can eventually use for the baby, and she's been doing well for herself career-wise. She's in the dance career, and she would actually like to become a world-class dancer, so that's great. And then over here she has made friends with some of the Newsomes that I have for the town, and she's also friends with Remington Harris. And yeah, Don Lothario. So is she another one of his victims? It seems like it. Indeed. Let's check our memories to see. Yes, indeed. So Don is going to be the father of her baby, and we'll see how that turns out genetically. Okay, so that's pretty much her story. I made her a secondary family sim. So this is terrible. She thought she had this beautiful man that she was involved with, and then once she shared the news of being pregnant, he was like, well, sorry, not interested. So that's pretty much her story. And Lotharios, Calientes, and Pleasants we looked at. Then we have Joe Carr. So it says, love at first glance, but friends wonder if it will last. Joe is completely gaga over Marlena, and Marlena only has eyes for Joe. They are so infatuated, it is sweet. Okay, so he's actually not the nicest whenever he comes around visiting people, he's always kind of mean. But him and Marlena really hit it off. So they're expecting their first child together, and they're happily married. They're living in this condo, which I haven't done anything to really. And yeah, that's pretty much their situation. They're kind of newly moved in, and he is in the adventurer career. He also would like to reach the top in that. He knows a lot of people and has some friendships going. So that's his situation. And then Marlena is a family sim who wants to become education minister, and she is in the education direction. And then these are her friendships and relationships. And she's a secondary knowledge sim. She seems like the type of person that would find knowledge important since she's in the education career. And yeah, they're just expecting their first baby together, so I'm excited to see how their genetics blend together. Then we have Kumail Tellerman, and him and Brandy have been living here since the previous update that I gave you guys. So it says Kumail and Brandy have a wholesome marriage and set a great example to their son Bronco, who is very excited about becoming a big brother soon. So as you can see, they're expecting, and last time they had one dog, so now they have a second dog. So this house has been extended, this condo, and I'll show you what I did. Downstairs, usually when you start off, you only have this part at the front. I've added another bathroom, and this whole part at the back has been extended, so they have a study area, they have a separate kitchen now. Oh, looks like one of the dogs made a mess. And then if you go upstairs, they have their outside balcony, bathroom, a room that belongs to their son. And here's a nursery area that you can walk out of the main bedroom from, which is fine for it being a nursery, and we can always use this as a second bedroom for a child. And then this is their main bedroom with an ensuite bathroom. So yes, I've changed quite a bit over there, because usually you have very small area for Sims bedrooms. Okay, so let's start off with Brandy. Brandy is secondary fortune, her main is knowledge, and she's still a restaurateur. She needs quite a few skills in order to upgrade from there, and she's friends with a lot of people in town. She also gets along with both her dogs really well, and she's expecting a baby, so she's on maternity leave now. And then Kumail, ignore this as well, please, doesn't line up. So he is a mad scientist. He basically started off like that, so I just left him in that career. And he's a secondary knowledge, so both of them are fortune and knowledge minded. And he's also friends with a lot of people in town. And he still doesn't like Brandy Broke a whole lot. Then their son Bronco. So Bronco really got his mom's genetics from what I can see. I don't know that Kumail really features anywhere with his appearance, which is probably a good thing. So he's got great relationships with his parents. He knows some of the kiddos, but not much else. Haven't really been to school a whole lot. And yeah, personality wise, he's very neat and outgoing and active, but he's serious. He's in between grouchy and nice, so nothing specific there. So yeah, I look forward to seeing how he turns out and how their genetics blend in the next baby, because you know, that'll be interesting to see. And then the Cox family, so they don't have any children yet. They're just married couple enjoying living over here. And it says, Kennedy Cox is not the most liked Sim in Pleasantview, but Andrea finds him so endearing. Is she just blinded by love, and will it eventually wear off? Or did she just see what others were too blind to notice? So this is the home of Kennedy Cox and Andrea. So the two of them just really gravitated towards each other. I think I mentioned them possibly last time. Yeah, they are happily married. They are now expecting a baby together. And this is another wholesome family, although they do have quite a few like really bad enemies, if I can put it that way. So, for instance, Sandy Brutti is Andrea's enemy, and Joe Core is not an enemy yet, but pretty close to it. So there's a few people that she doesn't see eye to eye with. And then on Kennedy's side, he also can't stand Sandy Brutti. For some reason, him and Christy don't get along. And then he also can't stand Goopy Gills Corbo. So it is worth noting that he had a romantic relationship with Sandy Brutti that him and Sandy spontaneously started off with, even though they have no chemistry. I found that very strange. And then, of course, she did the same to Goopy, and it's actually just Sandy's flirty personality that started it. But when it comes to Christy, I don't know. Just the moment that he spends any time with Christy, they just attack each other. They're just not friends. And yeah, so that's where Kennedy's bad relationships come from. Joe Core is just really nasty whenever he's on a lot with any other Sims. So I think that's just what happened there. They were part of a welcome wagon somewhere, and he just acted like a lunatic towards her, and that's where that comes from. And yeah, I don't know, Sandy just really can't stand Andrea. I'm not sure what the reason is. Maybe because she used to be with Kennedy. Okay, so Kennedy is in the military career. Here we have Tosha Go. She came home with him. And this home, as I said, I built myself. I tried to let it kind of be in the same type of style as the condos around it, but it's completely my own creation. So up on the roof you can just go and lie down with some deck chairs, and it's a pretty open plan home. Not much has changed in the last 3 years or so from this home. And then we have the kitchen over here, which I really like. And from the living room there's like 2 separate bathrooms, a half bath and a full one. And if you go up with the staircase, you have a study, bedroom and nursery, and then 2 bathrooms. Alright, so that's the home. Andrea is a party DJ, that's her job. And but she would like to be a world-class ballet dancer. I'm still looking into what to do with her. We have one dancer in the neighborhood already, but there's no reason why she can't be a dancer too. So I may change her job, but at the moment, I mean, it can be like a temporary job that she's doing and kind of have other ideas for later on. At the moment, we're focusing on her having a baby and just enjoying this new season in their lives. They're very happily married, and I think this could be one more wholesome family. I'm wondering how their genetics will blend. That's something I'm looking forward to seeing. So yeah, hopefully soon. Right guys, so that was it for part 3. I hope you really enjoyed this. Thank you for joining me, and be on the lookout for part 4, where we will look at a few more families and also at the buildings that got added to Pleasantview and how it changed. As always, be blessed and happy sewing. Goodbye.